Hi, Mama T here, and today I'm talking about a plant that all of you should be familiar with. It is called oregano, and this is something that most people have in their kitchen cabinets, which is why I love to talk about it. Anybody who's taken my classes knows that I love talking about your typical spices. I find them to be some of our best medicines, and I think that it's one of the most important things to educate yourself on well because it's so accessible. It is our food. There is a reason why all of these plants are in our food. It's because they're such strong medicine. So I want to shed light on this amazing Mediterranean herb. Oregano is very strong, it's very potent, it's very hot. In fact, it works best when it is cooked very hot. That is when a lot of these wonderful constituents that are inside of it get released the best. So if you want to give yourself oregano in a medicinal dose, I would pack your food full of it as much as you can. And I have chosen to talk about oregano even though it is not antiviral. This is such a strong antibacterial and such a strong antiseptic that I had to bring it up because it is so appropriate in these times even though it does not carry that antiviral action. Popular ways of taking this herb is, yes, you can eat it, you can put it into a tea, you can make a tincture out of it. What's really, really popular is to make what's called oil of oregano, which you may have seen in your local natural food store in their supplement section. So oil of oregano is not oregano essential oil, and it's very important that you understand that these are not the same thing, okay? So oil of oregano is when they take the oregano and they put it in olive oil and they extract all the goodies into this olive oil. Now, if you were to take oil of oregano straight and put it directly on your tongue, which you may see because it does absolutely come in liquid form, and you put it on your tongue, you may feel like you are suddenly being indicted into some strange Italian cult. It is that strong, and if you do not like the feeling of going in your mouth, you might prefer to take it as a capsule. So there are times when having it in liquid form is better, especially if you're using it topically, which it can be used for topically. Again, very antiseptic. So if somebody has staph or like a really yucky rash or something really gross, you can put oil of oregano directly on top of that. It probably will burn, but it will probably eliminate whatever could possibly be there. When people come to me and they say, I've had this cold, I've had this flu, I've had this whatever for so long and it doesn't seem to be kicking, my first question is, what have you tried so far? And if they say, I tried everything, and if they really have tried everything, oregano is one of my first go-tos. This is one of my absolute favorite things for lingering infection. And as I had mentioned in earlier episodes, lingering infections are very dangerous because they continue to suppress your immune system lower and lower and lower. So then when you do come in contact with something very simple, you are floored. This is why when people relapse with an illness, it's so much worse than the first time. So we don't want that to happen. So let's use some oil of oregano and eliminate those lingering infections. So this is something that's very good for lungs. If you have a cough, if you have a cold, it not only will kill the bad guys that may be causing that bronchitis that's going on, but it will also relax your bronchioles so that way you can take that deep breath. This is something that I love when there is gastrointestinal distress. So I unfortunately have had salmonella about 4 times in my life, and I have used oil of oregano to help me through every one of those experiences. Now some people go, why would you take oil of oregano? It's so hot, it's so intense, you're gonna like hurt your poor little inflamed intestines that are already upset from the salmonella. Well, let me tell you, this is also very, very popular for eliminating parasites, worms, salmonella, awful things that happen in your intestinal tract, and it actually maintains your gut flora. This is different from things that are antibiotic, like I had talked about golden seal being amazing for eliminating infection. However, it does kill everything. So you have to take it for a very short period of time because it will blast it all away. Oil of oregano does not do that. It holds the integrity of your gut flora, which is very important because not only will this help you to kill the bad guys, but it will help you in your recovery process so your recovery will not be so long. So anybody that comes to me and says, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that, this isn't kicking, I've got a fever, especially if I hear fever. If they are candida prone, I never give them golden seal. I always give them oil of oregano instead because it will maintain that flora help them so that way they will not hopefully get candida. And if they do have candida, oil of oregano works against fungal infections too. This is great, especially if an infection has gone systemic. So another example that I will give is a time that I had a UTI that went systemic. And I knew that because I got a fever and I started feeling it in my whole body as opposed to just in my abdomen. So I took oil of oregano, I pounded it right away, and it helped to eliminate that, even beyond pharmaceutical drugs. I have a ton of stories just like this, but I'm going to leave you there with just this knowledge. So the spiritual properties of this plant are also important because this is a plant of release. When you release, you are letting go of control and you are letting go of influence. It can be extremely liberating. This plant actually helps you see with better clarity what exactly it is that you are holding on to that you could let go of. So you know that saying about like let go and let God? So this is the same idea. Oregano says, let go and let me. Why don't you just take that burden off your shoulders and I'll carry it for you instead. Therefore, this plant is very good at helping you release what you no longer want, both physically and emotionally and mentally. I hope this plant offers you the liberation that you're searching for. Stay happy and stay healthy.